What's going on, y'all? This be your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and we're here for a brand new episode of Yes for the Miss documentaries. Okay, where we talk about reality TV based information. We're going to talk. This is what we do, like character analyzations. We analyze the characters, we analyze their friendships with people, their relationship with people, just things like that. It's all going to be documentary style type videos where we just do deep dives into the situations. So it's really Yes for the Miss deep dives versus Yes for the Miss documentaries. Okay, so that's what we're getting into today on this wonderful Sunday afternoon. Okay, and the person that's in question is Miss Rasheeda Frost of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And we want to know if she's really a good friend or not, judging by a lot of her relationships on this show. So we're going to go ahead and get into the very first relationship that she had on Love and Hip Hop, and that is the relationship with K. Michelle. Now let's get into a little bit of backstory with this relationship with K. Michelle. They really did not know each other before this show, right? So let's get into it. K. Michelle was a singer and songwriter that was signed to Jive Records, which was a record label that Rasheeda was once signed to. She was managed and, founded by Myth Hits, who just so happened to be the now husband in 2012 of Toya Johnson, who was known as the ex-wife and baby mama of Lil Wayne. Coming on to the show, K. Michelle had exposed Myth Hits for putting his hands on her. And Toya had definitely spoken out in his defense a lot of that time. And coming on this show, Rasheeda was one of Toya's best friends and still is one of her best friends. So it made sense for K. Michelle to come on the show, and not to mention from a production standpoint, to pair her with Rasheeda and have her be friends with Rasheeda. K and Rasheeda began this relationship. They started to become like good friends on the show. And K. Michelle seemed to have taken a liking to Rasheeda. So it all came to a head when K. Michelle was doing her Saving Our Daughters event, which most of us who were fans of K. Michelle knows that she had been involved in a nonprofit organization long before she got on Love and Hip Hop. When she went there, Rasheeda felt uncomfortable. Later on, they had a conversation, and Rasheeda basically looked in K. Michelle's face and said, maybe he's not doing that because that's not something that he did to you. So K. Michelle responds with, Rasheeda, he did that to me. And she went into her story. And one of the things that I would never forget in that scene was, none of y'all was there. None of y'all. This mother is still, it's get with me. I got my ass beat. And I got to explain to the world what the happened to me. Whatever happened to saying, I'm sorry that happened to you. That man beat my ass. And I had to deal with that. So I don't give a about nothing that nobody think about nothing I got going on. And she got her drink and she walked away. That scene alone created the beef between K. Michelle and Rasheeda that is still going on today. I want to get on record to say that when Love and Hip Hop Atlanta first started, I really liked Rasheeda. I really liked her. I thought she was a cool chick. I liked her personality. People was calling her boring and shit like that at the time, but I really wasn't seeing it like that. I thought she was cool. She had a good personality. We needed somebody on the show that gave that balance. But when she looked into K. Michelle's eyes and told her that she was lying about being abused, I really didn't have any respect for Rasheeda anymore at that point. And that's why it's been Georgia Prune, fuck you ever since then. Now, one could say, oh, girl, you don't know K. Michelle. You don't know who I know. Now, listen, K. Michelle has been following me on Twitter since 2009, so she knows exactly who I am. K. Michelle recognized me whenever I go to her concerts, so she knows who I am. But I'm not sitting up here making it sound like, we're best friends and we're this and we're that, because that's not what the fuck I'm doing here. But what I will say to y'all is this right here, okay? Rasheeda gets no respect from me. Like, you just don't sit there and you don't question someone's story. Regardless of the fact that your friend was married to Myth Hits at the time, it still didn't make it right for Rasheeda to question that particular relationship. Like, you wasn't there. Just like none of us were, you wasn't there. And the story that K. Michelle told was the same story that she's been telling for so many years. In recent times, it's been brought up to K. Michelle on whether or not she would forgive Rasheeda. And she says, fuck Rasheeda, it's forever. And sometimes that's just the way it is. Sometimes some things are just not meant to be forgiven. And that's just the truth of the matter. And that is just something that cannot be forgiven at this particular moment. It's just not. You just don't sit in somebody's face and say, oh, I don't believe that happened to you. Like, you don't do that. That's just not real. That's not right. Like, you just don't do that to somebody. It's just not cool for anybody to question anybody's abuse allegations. It's just not cool. And I'll never be down with that. I'll never be here for that. It's not cool. It's not right. So I think that whatever K. Michelle dishes out to Rasheeda, Rasheeda definitely deserves it. And I never like Rasheeda. So you can sit up here and say whatever you want. Oh, you going hard on her. You don't even know how. Shut the fuck up. It's my opinion. I don't like Rasheeda. I think that she's a phony. I think she's fake. I think her and Kirk do a lot of shit for TV, and they would never be respected by me. But for really everything that they did to K. Michelle. And I ain't saying that K. Michelle was a victim or innocent or anything like that. But with this, she did nothing wrong to Rasheeda. So I'm team K. Michelle. Moving on to the next. So her and Kalina. Okay, now for those of you who don't know who Kalina is, Kalina was best known for being a part of Dirty Money and being a songwriter. Apparently, when she came on Love and Hip Hop in season 3, her and Rasheeda had been friends for over 10 years. By the time we got to Kalina's second and final season, we find out that there have been some cracks in the relationship between Rasheeda and Kalina. Tammy came on the show, Tammy Rivera. She had been on the show the previous season, but then she wasn't really on the show in season 4. But she returned as a guest on the show due to her friendship with Bambi and things like that. She came on the show and she said that Kalina was on the phone with her talking shit about Rasheeda. And come to find out, Tammy was blurting out things about about Kalina that nobody would know but Rasheeda. She was saying that Kalina couldn't pay her bills, that she was a broke bitch, that she wasn't doing shit. And Kalina was like, well, I don't really know Tammy like that. We talked on the phone maybe once or twice. And how would she know about any of my personal business? The only person that could have known about this was Rasheeda, because she was the only one that I was telling about my personal business and the shit that I was going through with my marriage and my finances. So after the fight with Tammy, Rasheeda decided to invite Kalina to a studio session that she was having for her so-called farewell album that we never saw the light of day of. And they decided to have a conversation about their issues. So this is what was said. Let's get into it, y'all.
I invited Kalina to come to the studio session because after what happened between her and Tammy at the club, bitch, we need to talk and get some clarity. But on top of all that, I need to know what's up with me and Herb's friendship. What the hell was the craziness? Everything just went left like super fast.
Me and you sitting there talking about life, husbands, and then all of a sudden, Tammy come out of nowhere talking something that really ain't none of Tammy's business. And when it all popped off, I turned around, I didn't see Rasheeda no more. So I'm like, Rasheeda left me. So Rasheeda left the building with Project Tammy and never came back. To me, where I'm from, that's taking sides. And I feel some type of way about it. Shouldn't my friend, Rasheeda, come and check on me after everything that went down?
We were talking, I was trying to calm her down. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I understood where she was coming from. She was feeling like,
Tammy's feelings. I don't even know Tammy. I talked to Tammy all but 2 times on the phone in my whole life.
Speaking of y'all talking, Tammy mentioned to me, she just kind of was like, well, I knew Kalina was shady when she called me talking about you. And I'm like, huh? Really?
Really?
Yeah, she said you came on her tour bus. You was a bum bitch, a struggling artist, passing out your CDs. And I'm like, what?
Hold up, first of all.
So I'm a bum bitch passing out CDs on the bus, Kalina?
No, I didn't say a bum bitch. What I said
wow.
was, no. What I said was, Rasheeda just was passing out my CDs on my tour bus. Rasheeda worried about me talking trash about her, but obviously she's been talking trash about me too. Miss Deb and Tammy is tossing around all kind of little up comments about me and Tony Money. That information had to come from Rasheeda because she was the only one that I felt comfortable with telling that to. My friend of 10 plus years was talking about my finances to Tammy.
The only thing you can say I said about you was I hope they don't go get no big ass house and can't pay their bills. But bitch,
why you even
hold
say
on.
that? Didn't I?
I said one thing about you, Kalina. You laid that. You drugged me through the mud, and that was some real bull. You should have never ever said anything about me to anybody.
I can't.
You can't what?
I can't with this bull. That's
Okay,
what I'm
well
saying.
then bye. Why are you crying?
Well, look, you know why I'm
you
crying?
so
Because I
emotional?
really want to hit you in your forehead.
Oh, do you? Oh, really?
Y'all awful.
Okay.
You can kiss my ass. Matter of fact, you can't kiss my ass. You put your head between your own legs and suit your own self.
Go pay your bills, Kalina.
Bye, babe.
So in that particular argument, we see that Rasheeda had been talking smack about Kalina behind her back, talking about her paying her bill, not paying her bills and things like that. And even in the conversation, she turns around and says, "Pay your bills, Kalina, pay your bills." So that's something you've been thinking, and that's something that you've been feeling. So the next thing that we're going to get into now is that she said something else about Kalina in the very next episode where Kirk and Tony were trying to get them to get cool again, and they were sitting down having a conversation. And when Kalina was going through a postpartum, Rasheeda laughed in her face. So we're going to go ahead and get into that real quick before we move on to the next person.
I'm not selling my soul for the bull.
Selling your soul
That's
for
what
what?
that is.
Don't nobody want to buy it, Kalina.
Don't nobody buy it.
All right, how are you doing?
Romantic dinner, huh? I'm sitting here thinking, is this my surprise? I gotta sit here in front of goddamn Kalina, old ungrateful trifling ass. This is not what I was expecting for a date night, baby. Epic fail.
This is a double date that we thought it was well needed to sit down and, iron some things up.
What are we ironing out? Me and Rasheeda talking, it is what it is. Like she said what she said, I said what I said, and that's it. At this point, I'm not ready to make up. What we doing? Tony was supposed to be taking me out so we could spend some time together, so we could work on our problems and our marriage. But instead, I'm sitting here looking at Rasheeda. I'm feeling like my husband's priorities are all screwed up. Dick,
Listen.
why are you trying to fix a relationship with me and Rasheeda?
Kurt and I decided to bring our women together so they could sit down and hash things out. Not only is it sad that their relationship had to end this way, I'm very concerned about my wife at this moment. Kalina's been going through some serious stuff right now, and I really think she needs a friend.
I love you to death, but right now, I think postpartum is kicking in.
You know what? Tony, listen, we just had this conversation a couple days ago. You talking to me in front of these people about postpartum and all kind of don't try to play me like that, Vic. Tony is the one that suggested that I might have postpartum. But now he's throwing me under the bus in front of these people. Postpartum or not, that damn sure has nothing to do with my former friend being a fraud. And my husband abandoning me as a client and sinking all of our money into a club. All that is real. And I have every right to be upset about it.
The postpartum thing, I know a lot of, and I ain't trying to be funny, I know a lot of women don't like to admit that, but I
No, a bitch knows she going through mother issues. But then it got to do with what a bitch said, how it was said, sitting down with nobody. No.
But your emotions are gonna run higher. You're gonna feel things a little. You're gonna take them a little deeper.
See, Vic wouldn't put me out on blast, and now I gotta sit here and take advice from Kurt. I can't believe that the one person that's supposed to have my back really did me like this.
Kurt and Rasheeda are people that we looked up to when it came to husband and wife teams that was out there doing what they were doing. We sought out for them to give us advice. Honestly, I was thinking, I was talking to Kurt, I was thinking, we having Chris and the baby. I was thinking of Kurt and Rasheeda coming.
Dad, what are you talking about? You sound crazy.
What I do to you?
No, you didn't do to me, but who the So if something happened to me, Rasheeda gonna take care of my baby?
Hey, I gotta buy you a
Y'all
drink.
is killing me right now.
Hey,
Oh my God.
Kurt, I gotta buy you a drink, man. Come on, man. Come on,
I
man.
can't
I
deal
gotta buy you a
with
drink,
y'all.
man.
I don't know why everyone think it's so funny that I consider Kurt and Rasheeda to be Noah's godparents. These women might be beefing right now, but they've been friends for years.
That mother crazy if you think y'all gonna be godparents to my kid. I'm just saying,
Elena,
you know what I'm saying? You
really?
can sit over there like you think you on your high horse, but you're not. Take your
Because
your side ponytail
clearly,
and
real
your
talk,
new money, bitch,
I
because you
know.
smell like fresh money.
I know.
So
I
go
smell
on to
good as
fresh
a
money, not
mother-
old
Yes, boo.
fresh money.
Please, no.
Okay, I
Okay.
understand the
I
money.
get
I
that
get
you
it.
come off the
Understand.
tour
No,
with
tour,
Diddy
bitch. I'm talking about
50
my
years ago.
I'm not selling my
do.
soul for the bull
Selling yourself
That's
for
what that is.
Because don't nobody want to
I'm
buy
gonna
it,
tell you.
Kalina.
What you
Okay?
talking about?
So
What? Who ain't gonna
I'll
buy
tell you
it?
what.
Don't nobody buy your Rasheeda? They
Kalina.
buy your lipstick, but they don't buy your
They
music.
buy everything I have. Kalina,
They
you
buy your
put some
clothes,
music
but
out.
they don't buy no.
Put some out.
And you know what? I'm
Okay.
working on my right now.
You've been
That's
working
so
on for like 12 years, bitch.
real, because real
Okay.
artists work. They take time
Okay,
to work
Kalina.
on their
Go
new
on
baby.
Jocelyn
Do what I want to do.
and go somewhere
You
and
get what I'm
mope
trying to
and
say? What you
write
say I
about
need to
the
do what with
reason why
Jocelyn?
I ain't got
Bitch, though, she
for
is a
you,
bad bitch, and she's
Kalina.
gonna continue
And
to
I know
be a
that's
bad
what you're
bitch.
wishing to be,
No,
that you're
no,
not and never
I
have
don't give
been.
a fuck about
And
that.
been the
Bitch,
other
guess
girl.
what?
We
You know
get
what,
it.
Rashida? I ain't never been the other girl, bitch. What you talking about? I ain't never been the other girl.
Kalina,
Stop.
What you talking about?
ain't lynch a bitch.
So that was Rasheeda and Kalina going back and forth like Aaliyah about the situation at hand. I've always thought that the way that Rasheeda handled this relationship with Kalina was all the way wrong. Tammy came to her with some bullshit, then come to find out she was out here talking bullshit too. And it's just like, girl, what? And y'all have been friends for years. But not only did she do that, she had did an interview one time with VH1.com, and she was saying that she was the reason why she was on TV. You know what I mean? Like, as far as Rasheeda saying she was the reason why Kalina was even on TV, or whatever. Like, she was saying she was brought on the show because she's my friend. So I had a influential part of that happening and things like that. So she even credited herself for bringing Kalina onto the show, basically acting like Kalina really owed her something. But Rasheeda wasn't a good friend, and that's just what it is. Moving on to Carly. Now, Carly is our resident mess box, of course, but even Rasheeda stabs her in the back, and for a situation that really had nothing to do with her. Okay, now Carly and Erica had become really close. They were talking about opening up a store together. According to Carly, Erica was giving her the runaround, so she went and got the store on her own. When it came down to her grand opening of the store, Erica and Rasheeda both popped up to crash the grand opening, and they had gotten into it. So Carly felt some kind of way about Rasheeda going there with Erica to crash the store opening. And Rasheeda I felt like at the end of the day, you know that I'm cool with Erica, and you already know that it was wrong for the way that you did the situation, and it was fucked up, and you always be doing the crazy shit that you be doing all the time, all this other stuff. Like, basically trying to say that, it needed to be had, and that's the reason why she did what she did. But I just don't understand why she felt like she had to be the one to jump in and do all this crazy shit, because at the end of the day it had nothing to do with you. So then you started calling Carly a lame ass bitch, and she need AARP and all this other shit, talking about how her store looks and all this other shit. And I'm just like, Rasheeda, what? So she flipped on Carly for no fucking reason. Till this day, as I stated before, I don't know why she flipped on her. I will never understand why she flipped on her. Now, the relationship that's currently being flipped is the one with Yandy. Now, we were all under the impression that they were pretty decent friends at this point, but now it looks like they're not. They've fallen out because of some shit happening with DC. Rasheeda keeps on making, all these comments about DC possibly cheating on Yandy and all this other shit, right? And so now it's caused a whole lot of friction with the two couples, Kirk and Rasheeda, and Yandy and Mendici. To the point to where now is headed to the public. Rasheeda and Kirk have had a lot of things to say about Mendici. Or Rasheeda said that Yandy was never really her friend. They don't even know where each other live at. Yandy wasn't there when she was going through her shit. So it's like an associate type of relationship. They're friends by association, but Yandy wanted to get on TV and make it seem like they're really, really friends. So in this particular friendship, I don't know if I can say Rasheeda is a bad friend with this, because it's kind of like, I don't know. But Rasheeda and Yandy are one and the same, in my opinion. They both be doing low down, dirty shit. They both make things up, or they make things seem to be something else when it's really this and that. So I really don't know how to put it or how to make of this situation. But I do think that with the way that Rasheeda is going about it is kind of fucked up, because Yandy ain't doing no interviews about Rasheeda, and Yandy ain't talking about Rasheeda in a bad way like Rasheeda is talking about her. I just feel like Rasheeda should not be talking about me and DC cheating when we know what Kirk has done. Cannon is here, so that goes to show you what the fuck he's done. And I just think that she's way too judgmental of whatever is going on with Mendici and Yandy. I just think that she's doing a little bit too much with this situation, and I don't know. I just feel like, girl, calm down. Like, girl, calm down, stop it. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing too much, you're trying too hard, and you're trying to make it seem like, you know, you're really not phased, but you are. You're phased. You're phased by this whole situation. You don't like the fact that Yandy been out here making you look like a bad friend, but you have a history of being a bad friend. So to me, it's just like, you know, I don't know, but yeah, like I said, Yandy and Rasheeda both has this thing with them where they be doing weird shit to people, and then now you got two people that's two sides of the same coin doing the same thing to one another. So I don't know, but you know, I still look at Rasheeda kind of funny, even with this situation, even though she claims they weren't friends like that. But I think with most of these situations, I'm always going to be team the other person and not Rasheeda. And it may be a little bit of bias, but I don't think it is. I just think that Rasheeda is just a bummy person, and she's just not a good friend to nobody. And the only person that she really cares about is Kurt. And that's just the truth of the matter. So how do you guys feel about these relationships? Do you think that Rasheeda is a bad friend? Do you think that she's misunderstood? What do you think? Okay. So with that being said, y'all, this be your boy Scotty by Nature TV. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, share this video, and also click on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a video drops. And if you want to follow me on any form of social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok will be down below. With that being said, you guys, your boys up out here, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
It's on some whole shit. What happened to the Zeus fame? Then Bobby made you change your name. For a show, still searching for a ring. Pray these hoes find better days. Cut off everybody. Don't trust nobody. Play with everybody. Don't have nobody. Cut off everybody. Don't trust nobody. Play with everybody. Don't have nobody. Nobody. Nigga never was a real one. Copping, please, spreading lies. What you hiding from? All these shows just an extra.
Little dance now, twerking on shit like
bad bitch, munch it up, cock goblin. Slapping ass on this dick, cock goblin. Gobble up his dick, bitch a cock goblin. Fuck him in his face, bitch a cock goblin.
attitude bad, but I'm better. Ass poke out just fat.